Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to add a pulley and an extension system to your valve index. Let's get started. Alright everyone, before we get started, I wanted to let everyone know why I'm making this video. Now the reason why I'm making this video is because I just got my valve index and I was really excited to get it. However, it does not have a wireless adapter currently. Now this is coming from me using the wireless adapter Vive, which I absolutely loved. So I really didn't want to have to deal with that cord at all. Now I did a ton of research on what you need to buy so that you don't lose any signal quality when you're using the extended system for the valve index. And I'll tell you exactly what I bought to achieve that. Now I wanted to start by saying that I received nothing free in this explanation, and I paid for it all myself without any reimbursement. A lot of these recommendations come to me from others, and I confirmed for myself that everything worked great for me. First, I wanted to cover the extension system. This is because I think it's the most important to discuss. When researching how to add an extension cable onto my valve index, I ran across others talking about how you can get signal loss or no signal at all if the system is not done properly. And to be clear, you will lose some performance if you extend your index beyond the 10 feet or 5-meter range with your DisplayPort cable. The first thing that I bought was this Infinite DisplayPort 1.4 cable. Now I'm sure that there are others that can be bought that would yield similar performance, but I'm going off the combination of recommendations of others and the fact that I can verify that it works perfectly and I don't receive any signal loss. The next thing that I purchased is this Cable Matters DisplayPort repeater. Now the reason why you need a repeater, as I understand it, is because the DisplayPort signal does not have enough power to travel on a single, let's say, 30-foot DisplayPort cable. It is important to remember that this repeater comes with a USB cable to power it, but it may not be long enough to reach a USB power adapter if your power is next to your computer, or you have two repeaters and two 10-foot DisplayPort cables. Having said that, remember that the cable going from the PC to the repeater goes in the input, and the cable from the index to the repeater goes into the output. And you're going to have to remember that you might want to pick up a spare USB extension cable if you want to extend the power cable that's coming from the adapter or the repeater. The last thing you need is a USB extension cable. Now I went with the U-Green USB extension cable, USB 3.0 male to female active repeater cable. Now, this is with the signal amplification repeater, but that again required power, and I had to attach my own micro USB cable to reach the end of the cable. This is why people are recommending something like the Cable Creation Active USB extension cable or the pluggable, as you don't need an extra micro USB cable for power. I wanted to say one last thing about extending your index. If you do decide to extend your index longer and use a longer than 10-foot DisplayPort cable, like a 33-foot or a 50-foot with your system, you're going to have to understand that you're probably going to lose about 5 to 10% performance in your system. This would mean turning down your anti-aliasing or your super sampling, something like that. Then this is probably due to the signal loss. I have watched other videos and people have tested and confirmed it. But with the 10-foot DisplayPort cable addition on, you don't lose anything. And that brings you to about 29 feet of cabling, which for my purposes did work. The next thing I wanted to talk about is the Pulley System. Now I personally went with what everyone else was recommending, and that would be the Pro version Kiwi Design VR Cable Management, the 6-pack. Now I found the system to be adequate. However, due to my limited space, I did get stuck a few times. See, I have a suspended ceiling in my basement. This means that I had to attach the hooks above the ceiling tiles. I went with the hooks that could screw in, but the system does come with hooks that you can tape to your ceiling if you have a traditional ceiling that you didn't want to screw into. Now there was a lot of tweaking that needed to be done, but to be honest, I found the system I'm showing you to be the best that worked for me. So I started out by screwing in the 3 hooks in a triangle pattern into the 2x4s above my ceiling. From there, I attached the 3 pulleys to those 3 hooks. Next, I attached the 3 pulley cables from those 3 pulleys to the ring included in the pack that allowed me to attach one last pulley onto that ring, which then fed the cable into my index. Now this allowed me to have a greater flexibility when moving around my 7x7 foot area. Now I did use the other two pulleys included in the pack. I placed them above my ceiling tiles about 2 feet apart so that the cable had enough room to extend and retract far enough both ways. Regardless if you go with the hooks that you screw up or that you tape, this system worked really well for me. However, I still would rather have a tetherless system. This could be a while though, for the simple reason that the DisplayPort cable transfers around 25 gigabits per second of data, and the Vive's WiGig system only transfers around 5. Had I a traditional ceiling, I am sure that the system would have worked even better for me, but I still recommend it. Honestly, I really do. I purchased some Geekria foldable wall mounts so that I could put my index above my pulley system when it's not in use. Overall, I think between the pulley and extension system that I just talked about, everything works great, and I really do recommend it. People have been asking me also what I recommend for comfort and maybe some sweat protection. Now, if you're going to work out in your index, you're going to have to remember that, as people have mentioned, the index is really susceptible to sweat damage, so you're going to want to be extremely careful. But for comfort, for faceplates, I recommended the Valve Index Interface and Foam Replacement Basic Set from VR Cover. Now, they didn't pay me or anything to advertise this. I got it in. I love the foam one. However, my FrankenQuest setup does have the silicone one from VR Cover. Now, that one works really well. I really like it. I like the silicone. I like the leather. I think the silicone is probably a little bit cooler because you know how sticky and hot leather can get. That's just how it is. For the head strap, to protect that from sweat, I actually went with the cloth head strap cover from VR Cover, and it works really well, and you can always take it off and wash it, and it does come with a second one so that you can use it in while you're washing the other one. Now that's about it for today, everyone. Normally I do VR game and Let's Plays and reviews, but if you have found this video helpful, please consider giving it a like. If you have any questions, drop a comment below and I'll see if I can help you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video.